Hello again. Okay, we're back with our second video here, which is still part of lesson 1. We're going to introduce your first chord. So you should have this page, chord chart. Looks like that, all these diagrams on it. And there's more on the back of that page. And then you should have this page called 3 one-chord songs. I don't know if you can see that in there. 3 one-chord songs. Let's see. Anyway, so that's the material we're going to use today in this lesson. So first thing we got to figure out is what is a guitar chord diagram. So on the chord chart, the first page has 6 chords and the back page has 9 chord diagrams. So in the text there on the first page it says to explain these diagrams, the second sentence is the vertical lines are the strings. So it's like looking at the guitar like this. So these are, look in the close video here. So the vertical lines are your strings. The line on the left, that's your low string, the low E. The line on the far right is your high string, the high E. Remember we have Eddie, 8, Dynamite, Goodbye, Eddie, E, A, D, G, B, E. So we're looking down, and then the lines on the diagram, the horizontal lines, those are your frets. So the very top line of the D chord there, which has the X and 2 zeros and a 1, 3, 2 on top, that's the nut. This is called the nut on the guitar, and that's your top line there. The first line below it is the first fret. This is the second fret. These are called frets. And the third fret, and all the way down. So when I'm looking at my guitar, when I'm playing it, so that line on the left, the low E is up here on the top, and the nut, first fret, second fret, third fret. Now the dots are show where you place your fingers, and then above on the line, above the top line there's some numbers 1, 3, and 2. Those tell you which fingers. So your fingers are like you might think here. We're not going to talk about the thumb today, but the first finger is your index finger. The number 2 is your middle finger. 3 is your ring finger. And if there's a 4 in a chord, that's going to be your pinky or your little finger. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the numbers that we identify these fingers. So on a D chord, and then if there's a 0 over the top line, that means you can play the open string without pressing down on any of the frets. If there's an X over it, that means that open string does not belong in the chord, and we're not going to play that when we strum or when we pick. We're not going to play that string, so that's like out of the chord. Okay, so let's learn this D chord. First thing we're going to do is we're going to use our first finger, and it's going to go on the counting from the bottom. This is the high E. That's our first string. That's Goodbye, Eddie. And then the second string is the B, and then the third string is the G. So on that third string or G string, I'm going to take my first finger and I'm going to put it right behind the second fret. You want to be right behind the fret. You don't want to be way back up here. If you're back up far away from the fret, hear that buzz? If I get close to the fret, I get a nice tone, nice clean sound. So that's where my first finger goes. My second finger, that's over the first string, isn't it? The E string. So that's going to go behind the second fret also on that string. So I push it down, and I get that note. And then I put my little finger, or maybe my third finger, or ring finger, down on the third fret. Third fret of the second string. And that's what it should look like for a D chord. If you were to connect the dots, it'd make a triangle. So, there's another note there that if there's a star above a string, it indicates the root or the most important note of the chord. So there's a star above the fourth string here, and that's our D string, isn't it? Eddie 8 Dynamite, D. So, and as you might expect in a D chord, D would be the most important note. Now musically, I've got this fifth string is A, right? Eddie 8, A for 8 Dynamite. The fourth string is a D. The third string, that's another A. Those are called an octave apart. They're the same pitch, but an octave different, or same note name. And then the second string, that's a D also. Those are octave apart. And then on the first string I have an F sharp. So it's important to try and keep your fingers up. If you lay your fingers over like this, see in the little screen there how my fingers are laying down, it's going to sound. So you're going to get notes that are buzzy or dead. And the main ways that can happen is the ways to get a buzz. Okay, and you don't want buzzes, but the main ways to get a buzz is one, you're not pushing down hard enough, and these strings are going to hurt your fingers at first until you get calluses. See the calluses here in my fingertips? Those don't go away. Those are and ladies, you have to have short fingernails, very short fingernails. See how short my nails are way back. If you have long fingernails, you're not going to be a guitar player. So if your fingernails are more important to you than making music, you better let somebody else come and take your slot in a guitar lesson. So anyway, the ways to make a buzz. One would be not pushing down hard enough. One would be being not close to the fret. Another would be right on top of the fret. You don't want to be on top of the fret either. You want to be right behind the fret. Other ways to make a buzz are that maybe the finger that's, like look at my first string here. But if this third finger lays over, then I'm touching, my fingertip is touching the next string, and it deadens that string. So those are ways to make a buzz. Touching it with another finger, not pushing down hard enough, being on top of the fret, or being too far behind the fret. So your goal, and every guitar player has to work this out for themselves, pretty much, is to figure out how to make that clean. By clean, I mean, so it sounds like this, not like this. And, beginners like to put their fingers on the dots and just start strumming. And if it sounds, that's not the way to learn a chord. The way to learn a chord is to pluck each string. And if you find a problem, figure out what you're doing wrong. Now, in this case, my third finger's laying over on its side like that, and I've got to bring it up. You should, ideally, your thumb should be around on the back of the neck. You don't want to grip the neck like this. You don't want that. That makes it real hard to play chords clean. You want your hand relaxed like this. You even want a little bit of space in through here so that you don't want this part of your hand touching the guitar neck. You don't want that. You want it back away from the guitar neck. Let's see if I can. Yeah, see there's space in there. I'm not like this. I'm keeping it out like that. That's the best way to approach these chords. Okay, so once you got your chord clean, then what are you going to do with it? Well, we're going to play some one-chord songs. And so on your page it says 3 one-chord songs. There are 3 songs there. These are songs, I don't know how well they're known in Africa, but in America and in England, little kids learn these songs in like kindergarten or first grade or so, when they're very young. And they only take 1 chord. So to play this chord now, I'll get some picks sent there, some guitar picks. You can use that. But for now, just use the back of your fingernail, or you can use your thumb. Brush down like this, or use the back of your first finger. Get a beat going. So, are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? Brother John, Brother John. Morning bells are ringing, morning bells are ringing. Ding, ding, dong, ding, ding, dong. So that's one of them. Another one is called 3 Blind Mice. Kind of a gruesome little song. So it goes 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice, see how they run, see how they run. They all ran after the farmer's wife. She cut off their tails with a carving knife. Did you ever see such a sight in your life as 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice? Now one thing that's fun is these are all rounds, too. I'll talk about that when I get through the last one. And row, row, row your boat. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. So if you want to sing this with somebody as a round, first person would start out, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. And as they're going on, the second person would start out, row, row, row your boat. Now obviously I can't sing 2 parts together here, but it works as a round. So does Are You Sleeping? Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? And the second part could come in right there as you're doing Brother John. You can actually have 4 parts going. 4 people could sing that and be offset and singing it as a round. Anyway, so those are the songs, and hopefully they're familiar to you, because those are the only 3 chord songs that I know, or only 3 1 chord songs that I know. So they're good exercise for you to get this chord down, this D chord. But remember, when you're learning it, start it out, play, and don't strum the low E, because it doesn't sound right in the chord. So just strum 5 strings on this chord, and just use a down brush. We'll learn more sophisticated strums and some finger picking and things as we go along. But that's enough for your first lesson. If you get that D chord down nice and clean, and get it to where you can kind of play it, lift it off, play it again, lift it off, because you're going to be moving from chord to chord, so you want to be able to just put that chord down. I can just put my hand in the shape of a D chord, looks like this, and put it right on the guitar. It's right there. So you'll gain muscle memory of these things, and it'll be easy here. Next lesson, we're going to learn the A or A7 chord, the A7, I think, and we will learn some 2 chord songs. We'll begin to talk about chord changes, and that's where it starts to get a little more difficult, changing chords. Now, when you're practicing, you'll need to, ideally, if you could get 10, 15 minutes a day on the guitar, that'd be great. Now, I'm not sure how things are going to work out there with you. I know you're all studying hard and have limited time for the guitar, and there's only 3 guitars, and there may be more than 3 students. So you'll have to figure out a way for everybody to get some time on the guitar. Hopefully you can watch these videos together and then maybe have time to practice on your own. Also, I'd recommend getting a little folder. So there will be more sheet music that I'll be sending you, and you'll want to keep them all organized rather than just having a pile of papers that you have to find what we're looking for each time. So I would get a book for yourself, a little folder, and keep all your guitar music in there. If you have questions, let the headmistress know. Maybe she can give you my email, or you can ask her to ask me. But I welcome your questions, and I will answer them in future videos as soon as I get them. For the next video, I'll try and answer your questions. So I look forward to working with you on this, and God bless you all. You're in my prayers. Bye-bye.